So today we went over substitution and elimination again, and we still had a few people that were struggling. So I want to make sure everyone is really on the same page about how to execute these types of problems. So I'm going to do two examples. One of the examples, you're going to be given y, and the other example, you're going to be given x. So let's start with the first one, where we are given y. And when I say we're given y, that means that one of the two equations that you see, one of them says what y is. It's literally telling us that negative x minus 4 is the same thing as y. So we can then substitute that information into the first equation so that we can then solve for x. So we're going to rewrite this first equation, 3x. And instead of writing this y, we're going to write this, which is y. So minus x minus 4 equals negative 16. These can be combined, so that's going to give us 2x. 3x minus 1x is 2x, minus 4 equals negative 16. We need to get this 2x by itself, so we're going to add 4 to both sides. These will cancel out. That 2x will come down. Negative 16 plus 4 is negative 12. Make sure you're double checking your math in the calculator, and then divide both sides by 2. And your x is negative 6. Now we have x. Since we have x, we can now plug that value into either one of these equations and solve for y, which is what we're missing. Because remember, our end result is going to be an ordered pair, and at this point, we already have our x. So in a different color, we have, let's use the second equation. Y equals negative x minus 4. Y equals, remember that there is an imaginary 1 in front of that x, so instead of writing the x, I'm going to put that imaginary 1, and I'm going to put negative 6 for x minus 4. Negative 1 times negative 6 gives us positive 6. And bring that minus 4 down, and then 6 minus 4 is 2. So this is your final answer. And to check if this is correct, if you plug both of these values into either of these equations at the top, it will work. So let's just test this out. We know that y is 2, so I'm going to use the second equation again. Y is 2, so instead of writing y, I'm going to write 2. We know that x is negative 6, so it's negative x in the equation, so I'm going to do negative, parentheses, negative 6, minus 4. Again, bring that 2 down. Negative times a negative is a positive, so it's going to be 6 minus 4. And we know that 6 minus 4 is 2, so that works. And that would also work for this equation if you plug those values in. Now let's move back down to the second problem. And instead of it giving us y, in this case, it is giving us x, because it says here x equals. And just because it's not written left to right, it's still the same thing. We could rewrite the same statement the same way in reverse, and it's going to be the same thing, but it is still telling us what x is. So unlike the first one that we did, where it gave us y, now we have x. So we can input this information into the second equation for x to then solve for y. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to rewrite this second equation, but instead of writing x, we're going to put this information in parentheses. So we have 4. Instead of writing x, we're going to write 3y plus 4, which is x. And then complete writing out that equation, equals 23. We're going to distribute. And distribute means multiply. And you have to multiply that 4 by the 3y and the 4, both things in parentheses. So 4 times 3y is 12y. 4 times 4 is 16. And then continue writing out the rest of the equation. All right, we can combine some like terms. So this 12y minus 5y will give us 7y plus 16 equals 23. We're going to subtract 16 on both sides and draw your line. Draw your line. These will cancel out. You're going to bring that 7y down. And 23 minus 16 is 7. Divide both sides by 7, and y equals 1. And now we have what our y value is for our ordered pair. We don't know what x is yet, so we're going to take that 1 for y and plug it into either one of these equations and solve for y. I'm going to use the first equation because it already has it set up as x equals. So you have now 3. Instead of writing y, you're going to put the 1 in parentheses, plus 4 equals x. We know that 3 times 1 is 3, plus 4 equals x, and 3 plus 4 is 7, which is x. And now we have our ordered pair. And again, if we plug these values in, these x and y values into either of the equations, it will give you a true statement at the end.